I've been an artist for over 12 years now, and here are some of the most important lessons that I've learned in my time as an artist. Lesson number one is that your art practice is a reflection of the relationship that you have with yourself. So take care of yourself. We do not want to think about our art practice in isolation. You don't just completely become a new person every time you sit down to draw. You are actually the same person throughout the day, and then you sit down and draw. So all the other aspects of your life, your entire day is impacted by your art practice. Now, you might be expressing a very specific aspect of yourself in your art practice. You might be bringing a different energy to it, but you are still yourself. Your art practice is still integrated into all other aspects of your life, which also means that the more you improve at drawing, the more you will improve your life. Your life will become more fulfilling the better you get at expressing yourself. And when I say get better at drawing, I don't mean just technically. I also mean in terms of personal expression and honesty. One thing that I've found is that over the past 2 years, I've been spending a lot of time focused on being more honest in my work. I've been spending a lot more time asking myself questions about how do I express myself honestly and be myself fully in the art practice. And what I found is that I'm getting better at being honest with my friends. I'm getting better at being honestly me in all other aspects of my life as it's improving in my art practice. They're feeding each other in this cycle. And do you think that this is one of the biggest opportunities in the art practice, is that you can improve your life through the art practice? And that is a big part of why I focus so heavily on like building personal projects and making art that you care about. Because the more you align your art practice with things that matter to you, the more you will discover about yourself, the better questions you'll start asking of yourself, and the drawings will become more beautiful in that process. Like they'll be more fulfilling to you. I don't mean that they will be more beautiful to other people, but they will be more in alignment with who you are. And as you discover things about yourself, you can bring those aspects of yourself to your entire week, and through your entire month, through the entirety of your life. This is why, like, even if some of my students only draw a couple of days per year, to me, that's completely fine as long as they're making art that matters to them, because I know deep in my heart that impacts all other aspects of their life. Like, if you make art that matters to you and you feel fulfilled by it, then you will live life differently. You will approach your life differently. I'm a better friend the better art that I make. And when I say better, I mean in better alignment with my true creative voice while also improving technically, right? So you do both, but ultimately it is about the personal expression and asking yourself what matters to you. So sit down right now, grab a sketchbook and ask yourself, like, what aspect of myself do I really want to explore? What do I want to be open to? What are things that I just want to think about and marinate? Like, what matters to me? What are memories that I have that I really want to go back to and just like integrate into the art practice and just express for a moment so that I can be truly myself? Ask yourself those questions. If you want help with building your personal project, check out the Inner Artist course that's linked below, but you can always do this on your own. Just sit down, write out what it is that you want to express, make 3 mini pieces around that project, and then go through that process, because it will help you improve your life. This is why I'm excited about being a teacher. This is why I'm excited about teaching beginners specifically, because I know that if creatives learn how to express themselves on the paper, it improves the world. I genuinely believe the world becomes better the more artists actually express themselves fully. And I don't mean express themselves fully, then make money off the art. The second part is unnecessary. People can do their art practice in secret, be themselves fully in the art practice, explore aspects of themselves. And I think that's very healing. I think it can help you figure out what you want out of life. The amount of things that I've learned through the art practice is insane. And this is the most important thing that you can take away from the art practice. I think most people are not going to become artists who do it for money. And I don't even think that is the highest achievement that you can get. Money, although important, is not the most interesting thing. Being yourself, being fulfilled in the art practice is so much more important, because I think you'll learn so much more about yourself. It will help you develop your character as a person. And I think that is so much more valuable than anything else. So remember that your art practice isn't separate from other aspects of your life, which means that you also have to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Don't force yourself to draw all the time. Take care, like, go for walks, journal, exercise, eat healthier. All of these aspects will improve your art practice as well. And the two can feed each other back and forth. You don't need to punish yourself. I know there is this philosophy around just like forcing yourself and being disciplined. And maybe discipline is the lesson that you have to learn from the art practice. It's something that I learned through the art practice, like how to be disciplined. And that is a valuable lesson. But that doesn't mean that you should just like whip yourself and force yourself all the time, because that is also not healthy. Ultimately, you want to find a balance. It's not just about discipline, but if discipline is the lesson you need to learn right now, feel free to do that. But remember, it is about expressing yourself. It's being in alignment with what matters to you, and figure that out. implement it into your art practice, and then take care of yourself, because that is truly, truly so important. Lesson number 2 is to put love at the center of your art practice. It will help you draw way more. So we talk a lot about just like how to draw more, and ultimately it's just about putting love at the center. And I know that can sound really like wishy-washy, woo-woo, spiritual, but I truly believe it. The more you align the art practice with love, the easier it is to sit down and draw. I don't think it's any coincidence that a lot of the people who focus more on the discipline side, the people who talk about just forcing yourself and like doing the grind, I'm just grinding out my studies, end up burned out. Like, I don't think there's any coincidence in that. While I have beginner students who will email me and say that like, I've been drawing every day for like 60 days because I finally figured out like how to enjoy the practice a little bit more. I figured out how to be forgiving of myself. I figured out how to be truly honest in the work, and like, oh, I figured out that this was holding me back. I was kept thinking about like putting stuff online, but as soon as I closed down my Instagram account, now I can express myself freely. These are emails that I get, and these are beginner artists, right? And then you'll have advanced artists who burn out constantly because they keep forcing themselves to do things that don't matter to them. They're not approaching the art practice with love at the center. They're approaching the art practice with money at the center. So I highly recommend put love at the center and ask yourself what that looks like for you. So that's going to look different for every person. Not everyone experiences those things the same way. So you have to ask yourself, how do you put love at the center of your practice? And that's going to be so different for everyone, right? I've had comments on here where people say that they do a little post-it note drawing for their kids. To me, that is putting love at the center. You're expressing your gratitude for someone through the art practice. That's one way to do it. What does that look like for you? So right now in your sketchbook, ask yourself that question. You don't have to answer it right now, but write down the question. How do I put love at the center of my art practice? And then give yourself time to sit with it. This isn't something that you're going to just figure out all at once. You're going to have to sit with it for a while. Give yourself a couple of weeks but have the question at the forefront of your mind. How do I put love at the center of this? And then, going back to lesson number 1, start asking yourself that question of other aspects of your life. How do you put love at the center of your diet? How do you put love at the center of your friendships? Ask yourself these questions and then grapple with them. Figure out how you can be more honest in your work. One thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately is that my desire to have a successful art career in terms of like selling prints and selling my own work has been holding me back from feeling truly in love with art practice, because it makes it harder to be in alignment with the muse. And I've made like a long art journal video that I'm going to be putting out on a different channel that we link below on this topic, where I'm just like, oh, I had to grieve that art career. I had to let go of this dream so I could be more exploratory in my work. The more you try to be efficient in the work, the harder it is to be in love with it. Like, this idea that you're going to maximize your improvement just because you're headed somewhere, I think can be a mistake. And I'm realizing that's a mistake that I was making. So I'm grieving that art career and letting go of that dream so I can explore again. Instead of having like a straight line through the map where I'm just trying to like be efficient as possible, I'm going to let go of the destination, and I'm just going to let myself meander and be lost. And if I never make work that other people love, that's completely fine. I need to just grieve that dream and let go of that. And that is me deciding to put love at the center of my art practice. I'm realizing that I've been putting external input into the work in a way that isn't helpful. I need to let go of this idea that I'm going to get external validation completely, like let go of it altogether, grieve it, be sad about it. And so I can be fully honest in my work, and it's already helping me. Like, I've been thinking about this a lot this past week. I've been journaling a lot about this. I've been talking to my friends and ranting about this way too much. Sorry, some of my friends. But I'm realizing that is, for me, that's what I need to do to put love at the center of my art practice. Ask yourself that question. What things do you need to let go of? What expectations do you need to let go of? We start off the inner artist course that's included in the Absolutely Everything bundle, asking ourselves about our expectations, because these are the types of things that you want to grapple with. Write out your expectations, grapple with them. These are things that will help you figure out how to put love at the center of the practice. So that's lesson number 2. Lesson number 3 is in alignment with the past 2 lessons, and that is that the art is much more about the underlying feelings rather than the surface level. We still want to learn technical skills, but that isn't what it's all about. Improvement isn't just about technical skill. It's about having underlying feelings that matter to you. Are you making art that matters to you? These are things that are very hard to understand. Sometimes you'll look at art and you're like, oh, it's a technical ability that I'm amazed by. But if you look a little bit closer, you'll realize like, no, actually, it's not just technical, it's stylistic, it has flavor to it. So where's that flavor coming from? The flavor is coming from a deeper intuition and deeper feeling. It's not just about being good at colors, not just about being good at drawing faces. It's about having that underlying feeling that is powered by the technical ability. Like the technical ability gets amplified by that underlying feeling, and you don't need that much technical ability to have that power. You can start off as a beginner and really focus on that intuition, that that desire to draw specific shapes, right? So like right now, draw a couple of shapes in your sketchbook and just see which ones stand out to you, and like which one feels empowered, like which ones feel like they have energy to them. These are things that you can start grappling with very early on. You do not need to become an advanced artist. You do not need to spend 10 years learning how to do figure drawing, drawing perfect forms before you start asking yourself questions about how to implement underlying feelings into the work. And the underlying feelings do not need to be big things. They don't need to be like an expression, like a masterpiece of everything that you are. It can be very small. It can be the feeling of sunlight on your skin, or the feeling of sitting and reading a book, the feeling of like drinking coffee. It can be these smaller experiences. You can implement those things into your art practice, or it could just be following your intuition. It could just be certain shapes just are tasty to you. You know, I'm working on a course right now called Tasty Shapes, because I have this feeling that like certain shapes are just tasty, and it's kind of like hard to describe that because it is deeply intuitive, and it's going to be very personal to you. And I want you to start asking yourself those questions. What things feel good for me? What underlying feelings are right for me? When do I feel good in my art practice? And lean more heavily into those things. You can still be challenged in your art practice. You can still do practices, right? My 54 free drawing exercises that are linked below. The reason why I put those out is so that people can challenge themselves, develop technical skills, but you also want to do them from a place of curiosity, love, and joy. And all of that underlying feeling is what will power the art. Ultimately, you'll make very boring art if all you do is focus on technical skills. You want to focus on the underlying feelings, because that is the flavor. The flavor of art is the deeper intuition, being stylistic. If you actually look at the art that you admire, I bet you it's so much more about stylistic choices and flavor, and they're just touching on something that feels right. It feels true. This is something that I keep talking about in my own work, where certain drawings just feel true. They feel real. Like there's something about it that's just like, why is this drawing so like true? And I don't know how else to describe it. It's like so hard to put into words, but there's just a part of me that's like, yes, that's true. That's real. Like the unconscious part of me is in alignment with that. And that only happens when I let go of trying to control it, when I let go of just, you know, forcing the art to be something that it's not supposed to be. If I'm thinking too critically, if I'm thinking too technically, I lose touch with that intuition. But if I let the intuition flow naturally, I end up doing drawings that just feel so true, feel so real. Try to lean into that. I know that it could be difficult to understand at first, but if you do my inner artist course and like focus on the things that you care about, that will help a ton. So if you are interested in that, check out the Absolutely Everything bundle that's linked below. But as always, you don't need my help with this, but if you want to speed up the process, that might help a little bit. It's basically everything I've learned over my 12 years that I put into the courses. I'm still adding more to it. So if you're interested in that, check out the link below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.